Uttanasana. For this variation, you need a block. And you may find that you need 2 blocks or a blanket to add some height to this, but we'll start here with 1 block. So you're going to bend your knees. First, take your feet a little wider than hip distance apart, and then bend your knees and take the top of your head to the block. Grab the backs of your ankles and slowly straighten your legs. Allow your thumbs to go in the same direction as your fingers, and let your head become heavy on the support. So if you find that your head is light, or that you're really reaching or leaning forward to make contact with this block, you can add a block. You can fold blankets and add the blankets to the top of the block. Or if you need to, you can use a chair seat to rest your head. The part of your head that's resting firmly on the block is the crown. So this simulates doing Shirshasana or headstand, even though we're in Uttanasana. Uttanasana is a great pose to stretch the backs of the legs, but doing it in this way with the head supported is really helpful for reducing anxiety and for bringing a calming and a cooling sense to the mind. When we first take this pose, I want you to take your shoulders up away from your ears and bring space and room into your neck. But as we continue to stay, I want you to allow your shoulders to start to move towards your ears so that more weight actually comes into the crown of the head. Let your upper body cascade forward and become heavier and heavier. Close your eyes, turn your attention inside. And see if you can find comfort, even in the discomfort of stretching your legs this much and for this long. Can you remain strong and stable in your legs as you allow your upper body, your head, your mind, and your soul to fully release and surrender? Let your shoulders go a little bit more and allow a little bit more weight to come to the crown of your head. Soften your lips, your cheeks. Resist the temptation to bring the teeth hard pressed together, but instead allow space and room to come between the teeth. Allow your tongue to float in your mouth. Look for any tension that may build in the face, in the neck, and surrender there. And now very slowly release your ankles. Take your hands to the floor and press yourself halfway up. Just let your head clear. And then bring your hands to your hips, lift your chest and come all the way up. Join your feet together. Bring your arms down by your sides and stand in Tadasana. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Variation of downward dog, where we're going to use a block and one blanket and your sticky mat. So you're going to take the block at the lowest height and then tri-fold a blanket for your head. Place the blanket on top of the block, and you may find that this height doesn't work for you, but this is where we'll start. So you're going to act as if you're coming into downward dog, but you're going to bend your elbows and place the top of your head on the support. And then, with your head firm, walk your arms forward to the traditional downward dog arms. Straighten your arms and legs, and let your heels be buoyant. So let them come up off the floor. So in traditional downward dog, we're normally reaching the legs to reach the heels towards the floor. But today, I want you to let those heels be buoyant so that more weight comes onto the head. This variation of downward dog is actually 3 poses in one. So you have the general shape and the arms and the torso of downward dog. And then you have the head resting on the support, which simulates the benefits of Shirshasana or headstand. And at the same time, you have the sternum moving towards your chin, chin towards your sternum, creating the benefits and the feeling of Salamba Sarvangasana or shoulder stand. So you have that nurturing quality, that energizing quality, and that full body stretch of the arms and the legs at the same time. Be strong in your arms and keep pressing your arms straight, extending both sides of your body, both sides of the ribs. Close your eyes and go inside. And though this pose requires a lot of work out of you, can you tune in to a deeper stillness? Can you ask for Shavasana in a pose that requires strength, stability? And can you stay and search for the comfort in the discomfort? And if it becomes too much, you can simply come to pose of a child. But for those of you who can, ask yourself to move deeper and deeper into this present moment, deeper and deeper inside of yourself. Now very slowly, take your hands under your shoulders, press yourself back, and come all the way up. Join your feet, bring your hands down by your sides, and stand in Tadasana. Prasarita Padottanasana. For this variation of this pose, you need a block and a blanket. You're going to take the block to the lowest height and then tri-fold a blanket and place that blanket on top of the block. Now you may find that you need to take a higher block or you need to fold the blanket, but we'll start here. Then I want you to take your feet wide, 4.5 to 5 feet wide. Take time to make the outer edges of your feet parallel to the outer edges of your mat, making your feet parallel. And then place the top of your head on the support that you've created. And once your head is firm, so you don't want to be reaching your head. If you're reaching your head, then you need to take more support. But once your head is firm, extend your arms. And notice that I've started with my arms out wider than the traditional downward facing dog arms. I'm just giving my arms a chance to warm up. So as we stay here now, slowly you can start to walk your hands closer to parallel, closer to traditional downward dog arms. In Prasarita Padottanasana, the tendency is that the legs will roll out and place undue strain on the outer ankles and outer feet. So press your inner feet firm into the floor. Lift your arches up. And spin your thighs from outside in to counteract that natural tendency to spin out. And then as you stay here, walk your hands so that your arms are parallel. This variation of Prasarita Padottanasana gives us 4 poses in one. So with the legs, we're doing Prasarita Padottanasana, wide angle foot posture, working on the balance in our legs, working on our knees and our hips. The arms and the upper body come into downward facing dog, a pose that we all know and love. Or maybe you love it, maybe you don't. And then the head, supported on the block and the blanket, gives us the benefits of Shirshasana, or headstand. And then because of the angle of the torso, your chest moves towards your chin, creating a similar feeling to Salamba Sarvangasana, or shoulder stand. So allow yourself to remain here, turning your attention inward and being strong in your posture, working your legs to stay upright, reaching your arms, and at the same time allowing your head to become heavier and heavier. Reach through your arms. And press particularly in the lowest knuckle of your index finger, the lowest knuckle of your thumb, and the center of the base of your palm or your wrist, so that you're extending your inner arms more than your outer arms, as they actually come a little bit shorter in the inner arms than the outer arms. Remain still. Remain inside. And then very slowly take your hands back and place them underneath your shoulders. Press your arms straight so that you come halfway up. And then heel toe your feet in until you're comfortable to stand up. Bring your hands to your hips, lift your chest, come all the way up. Step your feet together, Tadasana. Bring your arms down by your sides, palms face your body. Stand tall. Setubandha Sarvangasana. For this pose, you're going to need 2 bolsters and a belt. So you're going to start by taking the bolsters and placing them vertically on your mat in a line so that they make one long bolster. This is going to support your entire body so that you're able to fully let go in this pose. You're going to sit on the middle of the bolsters, take your belt, and make a loop. And then you're going to place both feet, one at a time, in the belt. And you're just going to loosely belt your ankles. So you're not trying to make this belt tight, but you should have about 2 to 4 inches between your ankle bones. And just make sure that the belt buckle is not touching your skin. And then you're going to lie down so that your entire back, your neck, and even the back of your head is supported on the bolsters. And then you're going to slide your body back on those bolsters so that the skin of your upper body goes over your shoulders and down your back. This will help to hold your chest open. And to keep you in a position where your armpit chest feels free and your upper chest feels really much more open than your normal posture. Sometimes when I do this pose, oftentimes, I'll find I need to push just a little bit more so that my shoulders are firmly on the floor. The back of your head rests gently on the floor. And then because of the nature of the props, your sternum moves towards your chin. There's such an openness of your chest that it allows your chin and sternum to come closer to one another, which creates a squeezing of the front of your neck, which is really good for your thyroid. Be mindful to not press the back of your head. Be mindful to not grip the 2 sides of your throat. Let your legs go, let your feet go. Close your eyes and turn your attention inward. So this is a beautifully supportive, restorative variation of Setubandha Sarvangasana, which is a variation of shoulder stand. And whenever we practice shoulder stand or a variation of, we can tune ourselves into the nurturing qualities of these poses. Salamba Sarvangasana is often called the mother pose of yoga because of those nurturing qualities, because you feel held, you feel supported. And when you come out of one of these types of poses, you feel better. So allow the props to hold your body open, to bring a gentle stretch to the abdomen, gentle opening to the rib cage, and a softening of your lower body. Those of you who have back pain when you start to open your chest or do any sort of backward bending motion may find that this variation of Setubandha Sarvangasana serves you really nicely. And this is because there's a little bit of space between the legs, We're not hard belting the ankles, but there's a little bit of room for your feet to be organic. And so this will relieve pressure from the low back. But you may still feel a little bit of sensation there. Don't be alarmed. This is normal. We are still opening the chest. And for those of us who have a rounded chest or do a lot of work sitting or driving, anytime we start to open the chest, the pressure gets pushed to the low back or the neck. So just a reminder that in yoga, there is pain that comes along this path to finding freedom in your body. And we have to be willing to turn and face that pain. In our normal lives, we oftentimes will run away from pain or avoid pain, but in yoga, it's a little bit different. Now, very slowly, I want you to take your feet out of the belt, so it should be loose enough to allow you to do that easily. Take your feet to either side of the bolster and rest your knees on one another. Make this effortless so that they're falling into one another, so that there's nothing in your legs holding your knees together. Simply rest here for a moment. And then very slowly turn to your right side. Come all the way off that bolster. Turn down to come up. And take a simple cross-legged seat. Place your palms on your thighs and rest. Setubandha Sarvangasana. For this variation of this pose, we're going to use one bolster. This is the most simple variation of Setubandha Sarvangasana, but it has deeply profound effects on the body and the mind. So you'll start by placing your bolster vertically on your mat, and then you're going to sit on the far edge of the bolster and lie your entire back down on the bolster. So your neck is supported and even the back of your head touches the bolster. And then without lifting your body up, you're going to hold the bolster and slide your body back until your shoulders come to the floor, until they become firm on the floor. It's always a good idea to take a little extra push with your feet and just make sure that your shoulders are on the floor. And then slowly straighten your legs. And take your heels to the outer edges of your mat. Let your feet roll out to the sides and allow your palms to turn upwards with your arms down by your sides. The back of your head rests gently on the floor. And your entire front body gets a nice, even, gentle stretch. Gentle extension. Soften your bottom jaw. Allow your bottom teeth to fall away from your top teeth. Softening your throat, your cheeks, your lips. Turn your attention from the outer world to your inner world. And search for any areas of your body that are holding on. This variation of Setubandha Sarvangasana is meant to hold you. So you don't have to do any of the holding here. The beauty of using props in this way is that they give you access into these profoundly healing poses without requiring the body to be super flexible. They give you access to receive. And to receive, you must remain quiet. So now very slowly, I want you to just widen your arms a little bit so that you feel just a little bit more opening, a gentle stretching coming into the armpit chest. But the movement only comes in the hands and the lower arms. The body remains still. The body remains in its receivership. Senior Iyengar yoga teacher Patricia Walden says that every pose has a do, a doing, a done, and a receiving. So we make the poses shape, and we make our little adjustments and our movements and our extra pushes and pulls here and there. And then the pose is done, and we receive the magic. And if you feel the invitation, I invite you to take your arms a little wider, inviting a little bit more stretch across your upper chest and armpits. But make sure not to be in your ego when you take these wider arm positions. Move slowly and gently. There's no need to push. And now very slowly, I want you to take your hands and place them back on your ribs. Feel your heart beat. And then bend both knees. Take your feet wide and rest your knees on one another. Your face remains soft. And then very slowly roll to your right side, coming all the way off that bolster, and turn down to come up. Take a simple cross-legged seat. Rest your palms on your thighs and go in. And now it's time for Shavasana. So take one blanket for your head and don't fold it too high, but just enough to give you support and comfort behind your skull. And then as you lie down, take that blanket so that the bottom of the blanket touches the tops of your shoulders but doesn't go underneath them. And then press your feet into the floor, lift your buttocks and push your upper buttocks towards your heels. Slowly straighten your legs. We oftentimes forget that Shavasana is an asana. It's one of the postures, corpse pose, where we have the opportunity to practice full surrender of the body, of the mind, of the being, of the soul. So in the beginning, we can make our adjustments, moving this way and that, wiggling these fingers and those toes. But once we have our position, it's important to find stillness. When we find stillness, we can feel the frequencies of the body, the waves of energy that run through the fingertips, through the toes, and all throughout our body. So soften the space between your brow. Soften your cheeks, your lips. Relax your lower jaw, both sides of your throat, both sides of the back of your neck that run along your spine. Soften, relax, let go, surrender. Soften your collarbones, your upper chest, your shoulders. Allow your shoulders to relax and to get heavy as you settle in awareness. Soften your belly, your arms. Let your arms get heavy into the floor and soften your belly so much that it only rises and falls with your breath. Relax your legs. Scan your legs and your arms for any point of contact that presses into the floor. Soften. Relax your heels, your feet, your toes, your arches. And allow your body to get heavier and heavier as you stay. The heaviness comes when you surrender. And know that this surrender is when you can receive the practice. Now very slowly bend your left knee and roll to your right side and rest on your side. And then turn down to come up. Find a simple cross-legged seat. Join your palms together in front of your heart. Namaskar. Thank you for this practice today.